So we're back for another insightful conversation here with Neil Nelson, CEO of DDM Group. And there was an interesting clip that we took a look at, Neil, that spoke about family in business or hiring your family in your business.
My brother Magic Johnson is on point as usual. I don't know if I'd say it's the number one reason why black businesses don't succeed, but it's way up there. Getting them basically emotional in business. Not hiring Pookie and them.
Now, I want you to give me a little bit of context from your vantage point on that.
Yeah, I saw the clip as well, Jose, and I think that obviously we would have a different point of view. We own and operate a family owned and ran business. We built it from the ground up as a family owned and run business, growing it up to an 8-figure business over 13 years. And so we have a different point of view than what Mr. Bryant and is talking about. And I think we differ from that for various reasons. And not just us. Let me say this for the record, that the data is in and it's clear, right? 35% of all global Fortune 500 companies are family owned. 30% of global companies that make over $1 billion in sales or more are also family owned. We know many successful family businesses. Walmart, family owned, the majority of the equity. Samsung, the list goes on. Approximately 87% of all U.S. private enterprises are family owned. And so you can't blame family owned for the failure in black businesses. Families are the basic building units of society. It makes sense that family owned businesses would drive the majority of business enterprises. I think what Mr. Bryant focused on was about making emotional decisions. Hiring family doesn't have to be an emotional decision. I think hiring family can make sense, especially if you have the kind of family structure and organization that allows for people to do business together and do business well. And so you can be emotional in hiring a stranger as you can be emotional in hiring a family member. That being said, what I think is really key in family business success is actually having the proper family organization and having a better system for determining how to bring family on board in starting or growing a venture.
Understanding that, right? There are people who are listening who've heard that adage that you shouldn't hire family. But what are the keys to doing so successfully? What are the expectations that need to be managed or introduced into a situation so that you don't go into a situation where you're overly sensitive? Your feelings are getting hurt because now you're working alongside your family member and you might have thought, hey, it's supposed to be like this. Or, some people lead with, the nepotism in the workplace as well, or just whatever crazy expectations with family. How do you successfully do that?
Yeah, I think a large part of what happens in any social context is that people are going to have disagreement, and they're going to have conflicts, and they're going to be fallout from those conflicts that are costly, and that happens whether or not it's a business. I mean, the divorce rate in the country is 50% or higher, and so we cannot say that because people are going to divorce, don't get married. What we're saying is, how do you make sure that you're one of the ones that are successful? And so as a CEO of a successful family-owned and ran business, I can say that what has helped us is how we have organized ourselves. Before we launched our business, my business partner and I, Tracy, we were actually aligned on what we wanted to accomplish in our lives. We were reading and studying and working together. My family, I think, may be not unique, but I think what lends to our success is that we are organized outside of the business. And so we have an investment club. right? Our family is an investment club that we've ran for many years. We have a book club. So our family actually read and study together and talk about ideas and concepts about how our family should work, how the world works, what we expect to give to our to hand off to our posterity so that our generations after us are successful. And we also come from a tradition where we used to, we still do, have Sunday dinner together and debate ideas going back 20, 30 years from our dad and our mom, moving forward. And so we have this framework, this history that we built our business on, of being okay with debate, with disagreeing, making tough decisions, with calling each other out, and knowing that some people are more capable of engaging in those kind of situations than others, and that there's also someone who's more competent, and that person makes the call when it comes down to it, if we can't come to an agreement. And so those are the kind of patterns or norms that I think we should talk about normalizing in our family structure so that we can have businesses together. Because ultimately, when you launch a business, you oftentimes don't have any resources or much resources, at least in our community. And so what the family can bring to the entity, to the launch of the new entity, is essential. And without that, you probably can't take off. You probably can't have a good takeoff to launch your business, or have a good launch pad or runway, to use a more common verbiage. And so what's needed here is not a ban on hiring family members. It's how do we make sure that we have the right pattern of organization in the family.
I like the terminology you used about being able to call each other out. Typically, when you hear that phrase or term, it sounds like it's a complete negative. And one of the things that John Hope Bryant mentioned in his clip was there's a lot of love in the word no. So how do you effectively call each other out, Neil, in a way that makes sense, when you're dealing with family and you're trying to get to the ultimate goal at the end of the day?
Look, I think, and I can speak to my family in particular, one of the things that I had determined early on is that I was going to love my family members unconditionally. And I was going to love them when we agree, and I'm going to love them when we disagree. I'm going to love them when they say yes and when they say no. I'm going to love them when they don't talk to me, or we're not talking for a period of time because we've had an argument, one of those arguments that we need space. And so all of us have family members that engage in discourse, and some of them we end up not talking to for a while. And a while can be very long, depending on the people involved. And so once you have that foundation of love, that I'm going to love my family members no matter what they do, unconditional love, it's that foundation and that framework allow you to say to people, I think you're wrong. And to whatever comes with that, you can accept that because you know that one thing that's not going to change is I'm not going to stop loving you. And so that's a part of the fabric of our family that allows us to have a business that we have ran now for 13 years and been successful in running it, and have family members come and go within the business. And sometimes the toughest thing to do is to make that call. And you need people in leadership position who are willing and able to make those tough calls, to have those tough discussions, and also understand that it's going to cause some friction in the family. But business is not the only thing that causes family friction, right? Mm-hmm. Any other area of activity that the family experiences can cause the same friction. What you have to do is to make sure that you have good leadership skills to be able to steward the business, and also good financial management skills to manage the finances, so that no matter what happens, you can still exist and keep on playing the game.